Okay, so today I'm going to walk you guys through how to remove product, and two nails that I've got done here. I've got a gel polish on one, and I've also got our Slickpour on the second one. So I'm going to show you how to remove the product. You can take it down to either changing out your color or to just completely taking it off. So what I'm going to start with, I've already gone and pushed back my cuticles. So I'm going to start with my electric file, and I'm using our safety bit. I'm going to use our coarse safety bit, or you can use the medium safety bit. I like to use the coarse. And for our gel polish, it's actually going to be a really quick and easy process. All I'm going to do is work in a circular motion, and I'm going to remove just enough product to where the color comes off, but then I can see the base coat. So I'm going to start on there, and you can kind of see, again, I'm working in a circular motion, and I'm using the whole length of the bit. So all the way from the tip of the bit all the way through to the base, just kind of in that circular motion. And you can see there's a spot that I've already broken through that color, and I'm down to my base coat already. So you want to avoid going over that. You don't want to be going over that a second time. So you're going to work just kind of around that, okay? And again, you'll start to see that that product really starts to come off nice and easily. And then I can just do kind of shorter strokes, just kind of taking off just those little areas at a time. Again, I'm using more of the base of my bit right down into that free edge. I'm going to turn my finger here a little bit, work up around that cuticle. So you notice that as I'm working, once I break through that color, I don't keep working in that same space, because if I'm going to put product back on here, if I'm just changing out my color, I want to leave that base coat on. That way it's going to give that nail a little bit more durability, and it's going to protect that nail so that I don't always have to file all the way down to that natural nail. If you can get up into those sidewalls and that cuticle area a little bit better, go ahead and do that. But don't worry too much, because I'm going to come back through with my arbor band. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with our Slickpour. Again, just those circular movements, working up around that cuticle and then down through kind of the body of that nail. Now, because our Slickpour is a little bit more of a thicker product, it's going to take a little bit more work to get that color off. But again, every time I do my Slickpour, I always put an extra coat of my base coat underneath there, so that as I am just filing my product off, I don't have to always go down to that natural nail. So again, I'm just removing that color down to that base coat, and that base coat is always going to protect that natural nail. So again, working around my sides, up around my cuticle area. And again, working on different spots of that nail, so I'm not just working in the same spot over and over. If you work in one spot over and over, that's going to build up heat on that nail. We don't want to burn the client. So up around those sides, and just kind of follow through. So now at this point, I've still got a little bit of my color on there. I'm going to change over to my medium arbor band. And before I start, I'm going to prep that bit, take off that sharp edge. I'm going to turn my speed down to about probably about 4,000 to 6,000 RPMs. Right now I'm on about 5. And I'm going to take that arbor band, and I'm just going to come through lightly prepping over that base coat to remove the shine, and then any last little bits of that color, but just kind of feathering over that. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to take down all of that base coat, because again, if you're just changing out your product, you're just changing out that color, you can leave that base coat on there for the next color. Okay, so again, just coming right up around that cuticle area. Okay, just to make sure I've got all of that color, and just re-prepping that natural nail. Okay, so remove the shine, remove the color. Now, if you're going from a light color to a dark color, don't worry if you don't get all of that color off, because that darker color is going to cover it up. Okay, but if you are going from a dark color to a lighter color, you do want to make sure that you get all of that color. We're gonna do the same thing over that Slickpour. Again, just going through kind of around that cuticle area, and then following through just to really make sure that we're getting all of that color off. Okay, and there's going to be some areas where you've got a little bit more color. Just kind of work through those areas, but again, Don't work in the same spot over and over because we don't want to get that heat buildup. All right, now I'm going to go through, re-prep that cuticle area. Make sure that everything is cleaned up, all my protein growth, all the cuticle is cleaned up. If you feel like you need to, you can always come back in with a crosscut diamond square bit. This is one of my favorite bits for working around the cuticle because I feel like this one can get right up into those cuticle areas. And if you had a little bit of that gel polish or a little bit of that Slickpour up into that cuticle area, that's going to get that really nice and clean. And again, also if you've got a client that maybe is a nail biter or somebody that has extra cuticle up in that area, this is going to work really good for taking that out. Just going to make sure I get all of that product out from the sides. And then after this, your nail is going to be ready to reapply your next color, or if you do want to take down all of the product, you can just keep going a little bit more with that arbor band to take down the rest of that base coat.
Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel.